Showing up the eyebrows.
Everyone, please stand. Good afternoon and welcome to the meeting of Rotary Club of Seattle number 4. We're named for being the 4th oldest club in the world and also one of the largest. I'm Beth Knox, your club president for the last week. I want to recognize that we are convening this meeting on the traditional land of the Coast Salish peoples. Today, a couple of significant aspects are worth noting. It's the summer solstice of the Northern Hemisphere, which occurs when Earth arrives at the point in its orbit where the North Pole is at its maximum tilt toward the sun, resulting in the longest day and the shortest. This also marks the official beginning of summer. And today is also the last meeting of Ken Grant's 10-year run as Sergeant at Arms. In addition to my term as president. Well, I know none of the details for today. I believe that we're all in for one heck of a program. So now let's kick off our meeting with our music led by Bill Center and Don Murphy, accompanied by Ryan Bunbury. And then we'll hear from Marcia Matusi to share our inspiration for the day.
President Beth would be the first to tell you there are literally hundreds of people working to ensure the Major League All-Star Game taking place at T-Mobile Park in just 19 days are working to make it a huge success. Mounting that nearly week-long effort is a massive undertaking which will put the city we love on vivid display on a national, even global stage. To honor Beth for her extraordinary leadership in making this happen, let's all sing a special all-star version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Oh, it's good fruit for the men. Yeah, don't win for shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the All-Star Game. I am now Marsha. I've done a lot of things in the last 10 years, but never the inspiration. So I'm making this up, like everything else for the last 10 years. Please be seated. We don't know where our inspirator is. Is that a word, inspirator? But I'm just going to talk about love for 30 seconds. Love for Beth and all the work that you did over the last year. And whatever you're just about to do, which is probably take a nap for about 5 minutes and then get back to work. And the love in the room for support for Beth and all of the past presidents.
This has been one heck of a year, but we're going to come back and talk about that. That's my inspiration right there. Wasn't that brilliant? This is why I don't do it every week. Okay.
All right, that's your sergeant at arms stepping in and stepping up. We appreciate that. Bill, Don, and Ryan, thank you all for setting the stage for our program today. Thank you also to the Rotarians who stepped up today to do our greeting, including Ken Colling, Matt Albertson, and John Hojaboon. Now, as my year as president comes to a close, I want to recognize the work that has been done by Seattle 4 as a leader and pathmaker going back to 1987, when the club first allowed women a seat at the table, to recognizing women as leaders and inviting instrumental women in our community to speak on this very stage. This is one way that Seattle Rotary has stepped up and continues to forge a path toward a future of equality for all. Now, we have a few guests here today, so I am going to read out the names, and as I say your name, if you would please stand, and we will recognize everyone at the end. Guest of Ken Grant, former Rotarian here in Seattle, Hamilton, McCullough. Guest of Marcia Matusi, hopefully her guest is here, Tiara Bonds, owner Take Charge Credit Consulting. Tiara? Kevin Schilling, Deputy Mayor of Burien and potential member. Kevin, are you here? Welcome. Laura Johnson, Director, High Impact Philanthropy, guest of Nicole Klein. Welcome. Subhash and Kanak Pritmani, Rotary Club of Singapore, District 3310. Welcome. And past district governor and Emerald City Rotary, Howard Cohen. Howard, glad to have you here. We have David Gibbon, Nancy Cahill's spouse. Welcome. And potential member, yes. We have Bill Kwan Hao, guest of Doug Seto. Welcome. And I'd like to especially recognize members of my family. We have my husband, Jim Meyer, my sons, Lucas and Jared Meyer, my sister, Julie Knox. Why don't you all stand? We have my cousin, Jamie Powers, and my dear friend, Beth Wojcik. Would you please stand? And then we also have Bethany Gardner, Molly Hassan, and Barbie Seifert. Barbie, are you here? Oh, there you are, Barbie, welcome. All right, thank you. Welcome to all the guests. Is there anyone that I did not recognize? Any guests? Yes, please, excuse me.
Elizabeth Barnhart from the Duval Rotary.
Excellent, welcome, Elizabeth. And anyone else? All right, now I am going to turn it over to Ken Grant.
Here we go. Beth, did you happen to notice the two guests at the main desk, at the main table? Here we go. There's our first big surprise of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, Karen Moya Phelps and her husband, Paul Keenard. It's funny, somehow you snuck in and you were meant to get this bigger. Anyway, you're going to hear from Karen in a minute and you're going to understand why Karen is our very special guest today. All right, so here we go. Paul Pierre Keenard is one of the greatest athletes of our time. He has been part of the Olympics in sailing, America's Cup in. Okay, well, forget about that. That is the wrong introduction. Paul Keenard, for anybody that's a sailor, is in the house. So I'm going to turn this on. Ready? For 10 years, I've been doing this job. And for 10 years, I will tell you honestly, I've only fanboyed 3 times. 3. 4, apparently. Paul is one of those people. All right. So I've got, do we have a slide? Please. It's like I've never done this before. So Paul Ishii, here's a quick origin story. This is everything that you hate about me. It's all Paul and my buddy Hamilton's fault because they're the ones that got me into Rotary in the first place. So if you have a beef, those are the two. And if you really have a beef about why it is that I have been, how I got into this whole Sergeant at Arms thing in the first place, it's because of Paul. Paul came to me and he goes, hey, I want you to be Sergeant at Arms. And all I could do is laugh and cry and laugh and like, you're an idiot, and laugh more. And I'm just like, I am the least organized person you'll ever meet. He goes, I don't want organized. I want someone to come kick some ass. And I'm like, well, I can kick some ass like the best of them. So all of a sudden, 11 out of 10, 10 out of 11 years later, we are finishing and wrapping this thing up. I also want to post John Bridge. I thought he was standing up. That's only funny to Virginia and John. I want to apologize to everyone here, including John, for me and my freaking clock. If you've ever noticed, I'm always carrying a clock with this job. Somehow I always needed to take the photo or get ready to do something. And apparently every second person that has been a guest and a speaker here for the last 10 years, John knows. And I'm always having to pull him away. I'm really sorry, John, I have to take a photo. I'm really sorry, John, we're going to start the project. He seems to know everybody. So I just want to apologize to John particularly and everybody else for just being obnoxious over the last 10 years. Somehow these 10 people allowed this to happen. It's really not my fault. I have been an invited guest to do this. So from the bottom of my heart, I just wanted to say thank you to these 10, 5 of which I think are in the room. Kim, Jimmy, Kathy, Paul, who am I missing? Jeff. Jeff is somewhere. Oh my God, how many tables of presidents are there? Mark and Beth. You guys trusted in me. What's the script saying? You guys trusted in me when I didn't trust myself. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And so I just wanted to thank you. This is harder than I thought. Because I don't know if I ever would have done this job. I always said that I was a rhino, you know, a Rotarian and any other name. I still kind of feel like that. You gave me the chance to sort of put my head down, have a really cool job, trusted me to do something that, again, I didn't know I could do. So, and before I go on and finish this segment, I want to thank Mary and Jen and Karen and Paul and Sue and Jim for all the top secret stuff that came together to do this today. And I'm going to invite, oh, that's the ambulance coming for me, thank God. And I'm going to invite Jen up next because I got a little something. I wanted to hand off the baton to Jen. So give it up for Jen and thank you for having me for the last 10 years. I really appreciate it. That's yours. Oh, stop it. That's it. Bye.
Well, I'm very excited to be here and I am honored that Ken has entrusted me with the task that we all know that he took so much pride in and has done a fantastic job with for the last 10 years. So I have really big shoes to fill, but mine are better. So I think we're off to a great start. He caught me off guard, so I didn't bring my script to introduce our first special guest, but I think I can wing this one because she makes it so very easy. When I decided to join Rotary, I did so in looking for people that were kind, compassionate, fierce leaders. And we are surrounded by those people And I know that you would all agree that Sue Nixon is just that. She is kind, compassionate, and a fierce leader. Yeah, Ken threw us off script. Oh, you're with me. Yeah. So she is now the chief operating officer and chief marketing officer. It was on my paper for Bloodworks Northwest. And she takes great pride in her job and really appreciates the help that Rotary gives to support that organization. Come on up, Sue.
That was so sweet. I was smiling fondly at Kay, thinking you were being introduced. I grew up in a small town in Oregon. My father's was a third-generation dentist and a Rotarian for 68 years. Rotary was foundational to my childhood. We volunteered at every fundraiser, never missed Father-Daughter Day, and our home was host to 4 Rotary International exchange students. Our first was Gavin Pilkington. He brought Finnish dance into our home. Suzanne, a Swedish model, wore men's t-shirts as dresses, teaching me fashion is creative expression and sometimes can cause parental discomfort. Angie Hara, whose family owned half of the Philippines, discovered she quite liked household chores. Most endearing to me was Adi Asanatha Thau from Fiji. She graciously suggested that I call her Shane. My father warned me that in the Fijian culture, people respond to compliments by gifting those items. This made me extremely curious and complimentary. My dad made me return her gold watch. Shane went on to become the Minister of Women in Fiji. She returned to our hometown a few years before my father passed away to thank our family for our part in her story. Our Rotary community expands and connects us, and I admire how those deepen over time. Almost 20 years ago, Shirley Lansing and our incoming president, Nancy Cahill, invited me to Seattle 4 and sponsored me into this club. I had no idea the richness I would discover here. I've made dear and lasting friendships, many of whom became colleagues, clients, and partners throughout my career. Not to mention that my dentist, accountant, lawyer, and financial advisor are all fabulous Rotary connections. We each have a story that knits together generous people and impact throughout time. This becomes community. Beth, thank you for answering my phone call. And on behalf of the nominating committee, when I asked you to be president of the club, after pondering, you said yes. And this was despite being the start of a beginning of a very pioneering role as Seattle Sports Commissioner. A pretty huge decision to make, and you have led beautifully. Now, I did jinx you a bit when I said, well, at least during your year, the club president won't quit. Or no, the club director, yeah. But look how brilliantly that turned out. Where is Mary? Is she in there? There you are. For me, it is a reminder that yet again, change doesn't push us off our path. It guides us toward it. From Seafair and Special Olympics to Seattle Sports and this club, you imprint connection and community on everything you touch. And you do so boldly with humility, courage, and vision. We are so grateful for all that you and your amazing leadership team have invested in us, bringing us back together, inspiring us to step up, and leaving us poised to define a brand new era. Last week, when I saw that Geraldine Brousseau was speaking, I knew I had to be in person. And I was richly rewarded for showing up. From start to finish, what a fabulous and inspiring program. It filled my soul and left me admiring the richness across generations and legacy that we have in this club. When current events or life circumstances weigh heavily, I'm reminded that an hour together in this space beside you all brings delightful and soulful connection. And my hope returns. That's a weekly infusion I don't want to miss. So as we close this year, may it be our habit to marvel at and share the seeds of love that have been planted in us across time. Thank you.
Well, serving as district governor is a big job. And since July of 2022, Kay Peterson has capably fulfilled that role here in District 5030. And Kay has made it easy. Kay, will you come up and join me, please? Kay, as a champion for the Rotary International Foundation, has led our district to record-setting contribution levels. As a champion for new clubs, Kay has been closely involved in the launch of every new club in our district for the past 3 years. As a champion for increasing the number of women Rotarians, Kay has contributed meaningfully to the diversity of our district. And as a champion for hands-on service, Kay has promoted tiny home builds, blood donations, and a variety of community-centric projects across our region. Kay recently retired after 16 years as Vice President of Development at Evergreen Health Foundation. So she brings consummate fundraising skills to her role. Concurrently, she happened to have served for almost 18 years as an elected commissioner for the King County Fire Protection District number 16. So Kay's the one to go to in an emergency. Before that, she worked at Shoreline Community College and for the YMCA. So Kay also is a community builder. Finally, Kay knows how to have fun. Her adult beverage of choice is a Hennessy Straight Up. She's a fan of red velvet cake and the purveyor of an impressive collection of Kate Spade handbags. Please join me in welcoming your 2022-2023 District Governor, Kay Peterson.
Next slide, please. Great. We can just go to the first one and the next one as well. This is a great meeting for me to be at. I'm really excited because as you celebrate your club today, I'm going to celebrate with you things that happened in the district this year. We had some really historic milestones that happened this year. So let's start in July and August. July brought the first of 2 visits by Rotary International's first woman president, Jennifer Jones, to our district. She came in July, met with the malaria project. Our district was also the very first project of scale given by Rotary International, and we celebrated with the Gates Foundation and World Vision. August brought us to the Mariners. Yes, go Mariners. And we had 60 some Rotarians there that night. We sang songs from the 70s and we had fireworks and it was fabulous. Join us on August 25th of this coming summer as we go back to the Mariners again. October was a fabulous month. It was when we celebrated our district foundation. Jennifer Jones again came back to our district for 3 days, unheard of. The first night she was here, we inducted 4 Arch Clump Society members. That doubled the number of Arch Clump Society members in our district. That's cumulative giving of 250,000 or more. The next day, we had issued a challenge to bring women into Rotary. First woman president, let's bring more women in. 106 new women Rotarians were invited to come to the hotel with their sponsors to a private reception with President Jones. Fabulous. It was a wonderful, and I know many of you were there. Thank you. Later that night, we also had issued a challenge to all Rotarians to level up their giving. Step up wherever you were, whatever giving level you were at, stretch yourself to that next level and see what happens. 14% of our Rotarians accepted that challenge. I've been in fundraising 30 years. I would be excited if 5% of anybody gave more.
14%. What a celebration. What a night. Those donors who stepped up and that were there that night got to come on stage, be greeted by Jennifer personally, and handed a thank you gift. And then your club made history. For the first time, I believe, in the history of the entire district, we had our, Jeff, please stand. We welcomed our district governor designee to the governor team, your own Jeff Boric. His name was announced by RI President Jones, and she presented him with his DGD pin. There's a lot in the governor team. You got to get all these things right. Then we saw November roll around. Of course, November is End Polio month. We had a wonderful celebration at the Gates Foundation. They have been so generous to us, and they renewed their commitment to finish eradicating polio. So we are locked arms with them and so excited. We seriously are this close. You can hardly see the margin between your fingers anymore. And then we had an inaugural fundraising event benefiting food insecurity, and we called it Hunger Strike. Fabulous team put it together. Clubs got their teams together. They showed up at a bowling alley, and they had camaraderie, they had fun, but mostly we raised money for food insecurity, split halfway between Harvest Against Hunger. That's the new name or the old name? I can never remember, sorry. Good job. And the local club, the local food banks where the clubs were. Okay, here's a little known fact. Does anybody here know that you have a collegiate all-star bowler among yourselves? Mark Wright? Oh, come on, stand up. Mark comes into the bowling alley. I'm there. Mark comes into the bowling alley. I seriously thought he might have had a body in this bag he was carrying with him. It was big. Turns out he brings his own towels and all his own balls and his own shoes, and not just one of each, several of each. So I'm going to tell you, we're going to have a second inaugural hunger strike this coming year. And I would vote for Mark to be the chair of your hunger strike team. You can't get any better than that. Then December rolled in, and we have our first, another history making thing. We have our first satellite club in our district. A satellite club is one that's paired with a traditional club for support. University District stepped up and helped us. We retooled the Southeast Seattle Club and aligned them with the University Club. They were doing really well. And then I have to tell you, they really took a gut check as a young club when Elisha Lewis got murdered. It really took them into a tailspin, but we're back on track. Had a few months. We're going to celebrate Elisha's life this summer with a picnic with all of the Rotarians. So look for that to come. Then January, woohoo, let's give away some money. District designated funds, $35,000 worth of designated funds to put into our own communities throughout District 5030. 31 clubs took us up on that match. Clubs put in 500, district put in 1,000. So altogether, we had $50,000 that went back into our communities for food insecurity, for scholarships, for any number of things. Then we skip to April, right? Yeah, April. Another super historic event. First time in the entire Rotary world that a lithium-ion battery recycling event was held. We had it in 2 locations, Bellevue and Lake Forest Park. Many thanks to Irv DeSmit and the Environmental Committee, to the Environmental Rotary Club of Puget Sound, and to your club for being a sponsor. That was awesome. This is a free 10 seconds, Ken. Don't worry, I know how this works. Then in May, most of you, a lot of you who have been in Rotary for a long time know what the GSE exchange program was. We've retooled that and we now call it the Young Professional Exchange Program. We hosted 7 young Rotarians from Osaka, Japan for a week here. We sent 4 of our Rotaract young professionals to Osaka for a week, 2 weeks prior to them coming here. One of the highlights of their visit was being welcomed to the Japanese consulate here by the Consulate General, who I know is a member of your club. And it was just he was amazing. Spent 3 hours with these young professionals, answering all kinds of questions for them. Then June also was a historic month because one of our district projects formed a Rotary Club. That's cool. Partners for Work has been a long time district project. They decided that they wanted to serve the district as a Rotary Club. They chartered on June 1st with 21 members. They're now up to 26 members. They are so enthusiastic and so excited and doing so well. Then we do have some ongoing projects as well. We have built, Howard Cohen, you started us on these tiny homes. We have built half of a tiny home village this year. Talk about the impact to homelessness. We have our hands all over that. We've also been a peace building district for quite some time. We added 2 new peace poles to communities throughout our district this year. Kathy Gibson has been stellar in leading the district diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. They have a resource guide that's unbelievable and envied by everybody, every other district in the world. It's fabulous. We have a book club, we have seminars, it's just to no end. So congratulations on the DEI. And then Sue, I thought you might be going to steal my thunder a little bit. Come up here, quick. Because we're about to announce that Bloodworks Northwest and Be Bold for Blood increased our Rotarian donors by 30% this year. That's really exciting. But close your eyes for a minute and think about what those 50 additional Rotarian donors, the impact to their community, they actually saved lives. It's very few projects we can say save lives. Every one of you who donate blood saves a life. So thank you. We're so excited. Keep up the good work. And we're going to celebrate with our final. I'm going to see many of you at our year-end celebration in Linwood. We're going to celebrate clubs. We have 35 tables, 29 unique clubs coming, and it's just going to be a club celebration. So with that, let the celebration continue.
Thank you so much, Kay. And I thought we had a clicker up here today. I guess we don't. Can you click on up to special guest number 2, please? Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Sue, for your remarks. And thank you to our next special guest who's about to come to the podium, Karen Moyer. Karen Phelps Moyer. She actually flew in for this today. So this is a big deal for us to have her here. So let's give her a warm round of applause. Thank you. So Karen Phelps Moyer is a passionate and tireless advocate for children, families, and communities, widely recognized for her philanthropic work in grief, addiction, and suicide prevention. In 2000, she co-founded the Aluna Network, formerly known as the Moyer Foundation. Creator of national camps, Camp Aaron and Camp Mariposa, she continues to be actively involved while balancing her own coaching business, Good Morning Gorgeous, and her recent business, Golden Minds, supporting student athletes' mental health. A former speaker at Seattle Rotary, Karen was the 2006 Seafair Queen, and more recently in 2018, She was an ambassador for the Special Olympic World Games in Seattle. She sat on the board at the Hutch for 10 years and spearheaded many charity projects with the Seattle Mariners that include the family cookbooks that raised $1 million for charities. She's a very proud mom of 8 kids and is always happy to be back in Seattle. And today she is back as part of the surprise for Beth Knox and as our keynote speaker for today's event. Karen, come on up.
Okay, I don't know if I need glasses, but I brought them. That's how much I've aged since I was here last, and I have a clicker. So bear with me in the technology. Ken was so goo-goo for my significant other, Paul, and wanted to, now he took my chair. So I may need a ride home. But it is always such a joy to be in Seattle, to be back here celebrating one of my most favorite people on the planet, Beth Knox. Surprise! I was truly humbled and honored when I was asked if I would come back to surprise you and your last meeting here. Beth, you know this, but it's always fun to share publicly how much I have always enjoyed working with you, and I've always learned from you. Several times in my life, I've reached out to you about my professional journey, and you've given me wonderful advice and support. And the truth is that I really admire your professional journey so much and the legacy that you are leaving in this great town of Seattle. It is very admirable to me. So the other thing that I think is so badass is that you're a working mom. And that is truly amazing with all that you do. You know, in life, when you meet somebody so special and they leave a lasting impression, you are that Beth Knox to me and to so many others, I imagine, in the room. So now, as the president and CEO of Seattle Sports Commission, you have organized even more events for the last 35 years, and it's so remarkable. Your passion and your commitment to the greater Seattle area is so amazing to witness and be a part of. You are a leader, you are leaving legacy, you are my idol. Sports have the power of building community, strengthening social and economic impact, and enhance civic pride. I've seen this my entire life. Sports has been my entire life. First with my dad, Digger Phelps, who's a former basketball coach at Notre Dame, and second with baseball, which brought the Moyer family to Seattle in 1996. That is where I immediately got involved in this great community. Several of my mentors are in this room, and Carl Benke, you are one of them. You showed me how to walk the talk to be the change that we want to see. I sat with Carl on the Hutch board for 10 years, and that's learning from the best, in the best community of philanthropy in our country. In the year 2000, we founded the Moyer Foundation, now called the Luna Network. The Rotary Committee asked me for a little update on our work at Aluna, and I'm very proud to share while emphasizing the necessity of our programs and our services. So thank you for this few minutes. With us today also are from the Aluna team, Bethany, who is the director of camps, and Molly, who is the director of our resource center. So thanks, ladies, for being with me today. So, Camp Aaron was established in 2002. We will be celebrating 21 years this summer of camp named after a local teen, Erin Metcalf, who lost her battle to cancer at 17. Our first camp, we partnered with hospice that Erin's family had used in Seattle, and today we are the largest national bereavement program for youth ages 6 to 17 grieving the death of a significant person in their lives. Thank you. Camp is so special. They're provided a safe environment to explore their grief, learn essential coping skills, and best of all, they make friends with peers who are also grieving, and they're having lots of fun. Over 36,000 youth have attended Camp Erin. Recently, we launched Camp Erin Online, which has a priority to frontline workers and other families grieving the death of someone since the pandemic. Camp Mariposa, founded in 2007, celebrates 16 years of supporting kids ages 9 to 12 impacted by the substance use disorder of a family member. Kids learn at camp that they can't control it, cure it, or cause it, but they can take care of themselves by communicating their feelings, making good choices, and celebrating themselves. There are now 18 Camp Mariposas across the US. We have served over 16,000 campers. Most important in our country right now around this opioid crisis is that our Camp Mariposa is breaking the cycle of addiction. Also most important is that our camp is seen nationally as a necessary prevention and mentoring program. In 2016, we launched the Aluna Resource Center. So in the last 7 years, over 400,000 parents, clinicians, educators, teens, and mental health providers have accessed this robust library of articles, videos, tools, and program referrals and activities. They're exploring grief, addiction, suicide, and related mental health issues. To receive personalized, confidential support from our team is truly a gift at a very stressful time. I have sent so many people to our resource center. You know those times when you're hearing someone's story about grief or addiction and you don't know what to do? Send them to the Aluna Resource Center. We will get them support no matter where they are. I'm really grateful that it exists. The camps are my favorite place to be if I'm not with my own kids. And I never thought that my best friends, my very best friends, would need these camps. So again, I'm very grateful that they exist. One last cool thing that I'll share is that there is much more that you can find, as mentioned, on the alunanetwork.org website. But we have something new that's really cool, and they're Aluna Cares care packages. So they're customized per age group and contain a list of resources that we send out for you. So check that out online. It's really cool. In 2025, this is really hard to believe, but we'll be celebrating 25 years of helping children, families, and communities. I know somebody like John Bridge, who was there, one of the OGs, can really appreciate. Doesn't age us at all, John. But truthfully, it's something that we very much look forward to, but we're always thinking how to ensure these programs are around for 25 more years at no cost to those who need them, avoiding any barriers to them receiving help. Okay, now I got to figure out the slide thing. As Mary mentioned, I was crowned the 2006 Seafair Queen Alcyon. What an incredible honor that was, and such a privilege. It was great, great fun to share that with my family and my friends. And mostly, it was truly a pleasure getting to meet so many Seattleites who've been part of generations of this history of Seafair that started in 1911 with the Seattle Potlatch celebrations to Seafair, which started in 1950, to this year it'll happen again in 2023. So for me in 2006, that summer was a very busy summer. I had 6 kids, 162 Mariner games, Moyer Foundation work. I was teaching spin classes at Go Legs over in Magnolia. And I'm sure I was doing another little cookbook project while playing the role of queen. I got to knight people, which was super fun. Like my dad, surprised him. It truly was the best summer ever. I never could have imagined such fun duty and appearances without my incredible King Neptune, Carver Gayton. And our fearless, kind, tireless leader, Beth Knox. It was then that I saw her professionalism, generous spirit, remarkable patience, and the true love of your work. Beth has an uncanny ability to divert any unplanned incident. Make everyone feel very important and always have fun while doing it. Beth, who notoriously calls herself a farm girl from Michigan, this girl right here from Indiana has had so much fun getting pictures and videos for this speech. I got to reconnect with people I met through Seafair and the Special Olympics, and I've been smiling for weeks preparing for today. So this picture is Shelley Hart, who was Queen Alcyone, with her King Neptune, Rich Gray, and obviously Beth in the middle, and the Blue Angel is the most exciting part for many in the background. One of our favorite things, I don't know who started this tradition, probably Beth, are the reunions that the queens have every summer, hosted mostly by Jeannie Nordstrom, but you know, just absolutely incredible, inspiring. I think Dorothy is here, maybe. There you are, yes. And so super fun to have the Queen's reunions. So in 2012, we have here Guns N' Roses' Duff McKagan. He was the Grand Marshal of the Torchlight Parade, which is always a fun event during Seafair. And he's being knighted by King Neptune Slick Watts. And in the background, Queen Alcyone Surrar. And then you see Beth there as well. And in my reconnecting, I was able to connect with. Now, how do we play this? And volume's up, I assume.
Hey, Beth Knox, it's Duff. I'm backstage in a little trailer in Copenhagen. Guns N' Roses is about to play a big festival here. I just want to tell you how much I've always appreciated you and what you do for the city and personally, and you know, I'm a big fan. And here's to you. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Good job, guys. We got this. We got a couple more. So in 2014, our Queen Alcyone was former Governor Christine Gregoire, and she sent me this quote that I'd like to read to you. Beth is an amazing leader, putting Seattle on the map internationally with events like FIFA and the MLB All-Star Game. She is our Energizer Bunny, getting things done with passion, persistence, and personality. Thanks and congrats, Beth, former Washington Governor Christine Gregoire. 2018, Beth is the CEO of the Special Olympics USA Games here in Seattle. This is when we brought 3,000 athletes with intellectual disabilities to Seattle for 14 sport national competitions. Picture up there is me and I think 5 of my kids. And one of the athletes, I mean, they just take your heart and stay in your heart and you cheer for them. So exciting. So along those same lines, a perk being an ambassador at an event like this is to hang with really cool people like Tim Shriver, whose mother started the Special Olympics in 1968. Here we have a picture of Beth in the middle of with Tim Shriver, and then Eric Wilford, who was the board chair at the time. Whenever you're ready.
Hey everyone, I'm Tim Shriver, and I'm so proud to be congratulating you, Beth Knox, on this extraordinary award, this honor, so well deserved from all of us in Special Olympics. I thank you for making our movement stronger, for making it more powerful, in a way for making it more loving. You were and continue to be a great source of strength and support for all of us. And from here in Berlin, where we're about to launch the Special Olympics World Summer Games 2023, I send you all my thanks and congratulations.
Such a gem. I mean, and both of you, it was so much fun. I hope you all got to enjoy that some in 2018. And so, surprise, Danny. But so from one incredible event to the next, you have rocked it. And now we have the upcoming All-Star Game at T-Mobile Park. That's going to be what, July 8th through the 11th or something longer than that. And then the FIFA World Cup that's happening in 2026. Go ahead.
Hi, Beth. Dan Wilson down here in Tacoma, getting ready for the Tacoma Rainiers game here at Cheney Stadium. But I wanted to take a minute to say congratulations on stepping down from Seattle Rotary as president there. And I'm sure you've had an amazing impact, have done incredible things there as you normally do. So I just want to say congratulations there, and congratulations to all the things that you have done in the sports world, especially in the Seattle area. I know you and I have had a chance to work together, Special Olympics, and looking forward to the All-Star Game coming up and the World Cup coming to Seattle as well. So lots on your plate. I know, and I just always admire your tireless work ethic, your compassion, and have just really appreciated getting to know you. So congratulations, and look forward to seeing you down the road. Thank you for all that you have done.
Who doesn't love Dan Wilson? He's my number 5's godfather, so I can say that. And then I think there we go. There's such a common theme here of everyone talking about you. And I think what we can all take away today is to be like Beth and always try to be perfect, but so eloquently. I'm a fan of perfectly imperfect when I reflect on my life. But I think whether it's with sponsors or individuals, you always show that you care. And that is something that we can all learn about connection and life and our journey. And you deeply care. I am blessed to be one of those individuals. And I am sure that I speak on behalf of this entire room that we are all blessed to know you, Beth. We can't wait to see what other magical, great things you do. This awesome city of Seattle. Hugs, my dear friend. And until we meet again, keep shining, because Seattle shines because of you.
Good job. All right, everybody take their seats, and we're going to conclude with the passing of the gavel. I'm Bill Weisfield, and I had the honor of being president of this club from 1998 to 1999. I've invited all of our past presidents and Nancy Cahill to join them over here on the side. And Beth, I think the highest honor that you can have as a incoming past president is to be recognized by all of these folks and say, you did a wonderful job. So a quick hand for Beth one more time. And we have a time-honored tradition of passing the baton. And I have 6 past presidents that are online. And I want to mention Don Kraft from 73-74. Don's our senior past president. We have John Durbin from 86-87. Neil McReynolds from 91-92. Skip Cockins from 97-98. Carl Aggie from 04 and 05, and Nancy Osborne from 08 and 09. So those past presidents are on Zoom, but we're here in person today. And so I'm going to begin the tradition by passing this baton to my successor, Dorothy Bullitt.
Dorothy Bullitt, Queen Alcyon the First. And just keeping with the theme, and President of Seattle Rotary 2001, 2002.
Bill Center, President 2006, 2007. I just want to acknowledge three past presidents that aren't on Zoom because they couldn't be with us today. They're deceased. Nancy Lux, John Iverson, and Todd Sommerfeld.
My name's Tim Bendokas. I was your club president in 2009, 2010. Congratulations to Nancy for your great year.
Nancy,
Beth, I beg your pardon, Beth.
It will be great.
Yeah, he's seeing the future. Sten Chrissy, President 10-11, and this is a wonderful tradition. And Beth, you've been a fabulous leader.
Good afternoon, Jim McCurdy, 2011-12. Beth, great job. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Paul. Is she, I think 14, 15. And you can continue to blame me for asking Ken to be a sergeant of arms. It was only supposed to be for 1 year. And thank you, Beth, for your past service.
Thank you. I'm Sue Nixon, and it was 2015 and 16 for me.
Kathy Gibson, 2016, 2017. Congratulations on a great year, Beth.
I've been asked to squeeze down, sorry. Mark Wright, president from 2017, 2018.
Kim Moore, President 2019, 2020, first COVID president.
And following Kim, Jeff Borick, and I'm your pandemic president who never got to attend any of my meetings in person. Congratulations, Beth.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm Jimmy Collins. I was the president in 21-22. I did invite Jeff Borick to officiate at several of the meetings during my year. Became acquainted with this lady on my right when I was her board chair at Seafair in 2011. And am proud to pass this gavel to you to hand on.
Thank you, Jimmy. At the beginning, I asked all of you to step up, and as Dan Wilson said, now I am stepping down and handing this off to Nancy Cahill. Congratulations.
Looking forward to a year getting everyone really involved, and we've got lots of great things to look forward to.
First woman.
Dorothy just noted that was the first woman president to woman president. So that's kind of a fun one. All right, we're going to wrap things up here. Karen, oh my gosh, thank you for not only for being here, that's just amazing enough, but all of the great work that you put into bringing those videos together. That just means the world to me. And thanks also for sharing your story of all the good things that you're doing for all of the kids that really need that support. So thank you. All right, so reaching the end of your term as Rotary president is a time of reflection and it's conflicting emotions, frankly. Of course, there's a bit of relief, I will admit. The commitment to prepare for each week's meeting in a thoughtful manner is not insignificant. So it's nice to be relieved of that responsibility, but it's also tempting to look back and wish that you could have done more or had a greater impact. Perhaps if I'd taken this role on at a different time in my career, or if there hadn't been road bumps with the club director search, or if life challenges hadn't interrupted my focus. And then when you let all of those factors settle in amongst the countless silver linings, and unanticipated positive outcomes, you're reminded that life happens exactly as it's supposed to. I had a leadership team and countless Rotarians who did answer that call to step up this past year, in spite of their own interruptions, challenges, and road bumps. They made room where they could to give back and to weave Rotary responsibilities into their other obligations, because they are servant leaders who understand that stepping up isn't meant to be easy, but it is what makes the impact so great. This past year, your leaders stepped up to guide our club director search, which brought us the fabulous Mary Goldie. Your board chair, Dominic Musafia, stepped up to lead our monthly board meetings with consideration to allow every member a voice to be heard, and yet also respectful to everyone's time, which is not an easy task. Doug Settle stepped up to lead our service committees and infused his compassionate guidance and creative ideas into the work of all those committee leaders and members who in turn stepped up to make a positive impact on our community. John Steckler and Nicole Klein stepped up as membership recruitment and engagement, a challenge made even more so as we made our way out of the pandemic and navigated changing needs of our members. But their resiliency brought creative initiatives and small group networking that will continue to pay off long after their term is done. Now, going through an administrative change like we did will often reveal a few surprises, and your club treasurer, Jesse Thomas, experienced his share this past year. Fortunately, none that was significant, but he stepped up to assess the needs and find solutions, which resulted in new financial best practices and systems for your club. And your Prince of Programs, Ken Grant, stepped up to deliver a wide variety of programs and speakers that entertained, informed, and challenged us. He simultaneously, as you know, served as Sergeant at Arms to ensure our meetings ran on time and respond to all of the many things that happen and that can impact the guest experience. Ultimately, I am humbled that so many of you responded to the call to step up. For many of us, we're juggling more demands than ever, and it can be tempting to lose perspective on priorities. I encourage all of us to stay connected socially, professionally, and in service to our community, to continue to step up as leaders who are determined to help make our world a better place through Rotary. And now I will leave you with one final sports report of your Seattle sports teams. For those of you who don't know, each week I have provided a quick update on what's happening with our sports teams. So this will be a brief one. Mariners continue their dance with a .500 record, losing to the Yankees in the first game of an important 6-game road trip in New York and Baltimore. The improving Storm lost to the Connecticut Sun in the first game of 3 at home this week, but Jewel Lloyd continues to carry that team with her high scoring. The Seawolves host the Houston SaberCats in a playoff semifinal at Starfire on Saturday. The Sounders play at LAFC tonight, and the OL Reign are at San Diego on Saturday. The Kraken speeder hockey team, the Firebirds, host the Hershey Bears tonight in Game 7, with the winner claiming the Calder Cup as champions of the AHL. And I hope to see many of you at the MLB All-Star Week of Activities, July 7 through 11. And if you're free this Friday at 9 a.m., you can join a group of 500 volunteers outside the Mariners parking garage to help beautify the stadium district for all of the hundreds of thousands of visitors that we'll be welcoming. We live in a great sports town and a great community. Thank you all for being part of it. The fitness trailblazer Fred DeVito said, "If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you." This meeting is adjourned.